beautiful souls. How are we all doing? I hope you're well. So we are starting day 3 of our course. I can't believe we nearly, like at the end, well, we're halfway through. We have 2 more days, today and tomorrow. Let me just check if I'm live. I'm gonna tag everybody so they can find me. I know people have had problems finding my my trainings. I don't know why, but here we are. Brilliant. So if you're watching live, please say hi. How are you doing? Have you been doing your homework from yesterday? Lucy, hello. You're first one here. Amazing. Welcome. I'm happy you're here. For those of you who are watching on replay, thank you so much for joining us. And I put hashtag replay so I know you're here. So today it's probably one of my favorite trainings, which is all about teaching you how you can connect to your zone of genius. Remember, you have a very unique purpose to fulfill on this earth, and you are the best person. Yay! Let's see. Oh, amazing. I can see comments here. Okay, that makes life so much easier. And remember that you are the best person to fulfill that purpose. You have impact to create. You're here to change people's lives, to transform their lives, and you already have everything you need to fulfill that purpose, to create impact in people's lives. And I know sometimes it's difficult to believe because we have lots of doubts, because we're still stuck in our minds and our conditioning. Okay, so, we've been conditioned our whole life, so it takes time to let go of those fears and doubts and to truly believe in ourselves. So I know it's hard to believe that, oh my God, I can do this, and I've got this amazing zone of genius. There's something unique that only I possess to be able to do it. I know it's hard to believe, but I want you to know that's the case, okay? So that's why it's so important to try to be disconnected from your mind, to heal those blocks, to heal the conditioning so you can truly connect to who you truly are. Conditioning in our mind is the biggest block to us connecting to who we truly are, to really understand what our purpose is, to really understand our zone of genius. Your zone of genius is basically, it's the whole of you that, it's your specific skills, your talents, your gifts, your experience, your expertise, the whole of you that when we put it all together makes it such a unique package, offering, service, product that only you can offer, because there's only one of you here, right, on this earth. So nobody can ever provide the same transformation as you for your clients. It's just impossible. That's why I don't believe in competition. There's no such thing as competition. We all have something very beautiful and unique about us, and my role is to help you connect to that so you understand that there's no competition, there's no need competing with one another. If anything, we're here to empower and inspire one another to step fully into who we truly are so we can access the magnificent power and gifts we already have. And we just need to connect to them, remember what they are, and put it into an offering, into a program that will be life-changing for your clients. A lot of clients that I work with, when they start working with me, they say, I've got this beautiful modality, but my clients are not getting results. Why is that? That's because you are stuck to just doing one thing and you not embodying your whole zone of genius, right? And I can promise you as well. So today I'll be teaching you how to obviously connect, like from your mind, what are your skills, like using our logic. But we want to be doing that from a place of energetics as well, and from really remembering. And the only way to really do that properly is not something we can do today, unfortunately, but the only way we can do this is really through healing and remembering. I know from experience, my own personal experience, but also working with now thousands of clients, is that when you start this journey, and when you start truly going it step by step, you first start connecting more to your soul, you start, understanding your blocks, you start healing your blocks. The more you heal your conditioning and your blocks, the more you connect to who you truly are, and then you start understanding, and that's deeper level of understanding that, this is what's unique about me. This is why I'm here. And you start actually activating new sets of skills and wisdom. So this is what happened to me, right? Like when I had my business right at the beginning, I was only helping people connect to their purpose because that's the only thing I knew how to do. But then when I started monetizing my business in month 3 through business strategy, I was like, oh my God, people can monetize their purpose, and that's the whole point. We have to create impact. What's the point of having something magnificent and keeping it to ourselves? We need to spread that knowledge and we need to monetize it. So that's what I started doing. I started helping people through business strategy how to monetize their business. But then in the second year of business, when my business exploded because I started utilizing, healing and everything I'm teaching now, the inner work and the business strategy, that's when, I've created something unique, something revolutionary, something different. And that's why my business exploded. But even at that time, I still haven't yet connected to my spiritual gifts. Okay. So it took me many, many years. 5 years later, only when I had second spiritual awakening and I went through deep, deep death and rebirth, only then I connected to my spiritual gifts, which then I always say, like, probably this is the end, but probably it's not the end of my approach, because we keep growing, we keep evolving. So that means our approach, our businesses will keep expanding and will get better and better and better, right? But it took me many, many years, and there were layers of healing, right? So the more you heal, the more you activate something special. And I had no idea I was ever going to be a healer. I had no idea I would ever be a channel of 5D consciousness and abundance consciousness and the Pleiadians. Like for me, I was like, this is something that my clients probably would do. Like I would never. Like I never knew I had those abilities, right? I was putting myself down because I never thought I could have such amazing and beautiful gifts. But they only happened through healing, right? So I want you to know that it is a process. So today I'll share with you what you can do right now to help yourself step by step. But I want you to know that you need to be patient with yourself. And remember, you are creating a complete masterpiece, right? What you will create, it's not something that will never change, right? I'm encouraging you to know that you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't, people are like really like they want to be perfect, and it's all about being professional. And it has to be ready, it needs to be finished before we promote and get people in. No, I want you to know that you can create something already today that will change people's lives. But as you are going through your own spiritual journey, your own internal transformation, just know that your programs or your offers they will be forever expanding and evolving. And it's okay to be adding and changing and shifting, right? Because that's who we are as humans as well. That's how we evolve, okay? So let's get started. I want you to know that the key to your success, impact, financial freedom is always to do with your zone of genius and the offering that you provide. Your offering is to align with your purpose. It's always like this. You first need to connect to your purpose. Only then you will understand really what impact you're here to create. So the impact you're here to create is the problem you're solving and the results you're providing for your clients. Really understanding your clients and coming up with a process, your approach, your modalities. Some people even come up with whole modalities, and they have schools of modalities, right? Modality of how you're going to get your clients from A to B, right? So today, and when you know how you're going to take clients from A to B, you then need to understand, okay, why am I the best person to do this? What is my zone of genius that will actually let it happen, okay? So that's the process I'm going to take you through today, okay? So I want you to know that, connecting to your zone of genius and understanding your unique abilities is so crucial to not only creating something that is so unique and revolutionary to this market, to a market, so that you actually stand out straight away, because people will be like, what is this new thing? I've never heard of it. Like, tell me more about it, right? But it will be life-changing for your clients. So you will actually be creating life-changing results for your clients. So not only you will feel amazing because you're actually creating impact, but people will spread your message for you. If you're good, people will talk about you, right? And you'll be stepping fully energetically into your role. So your alignment will be will be so strong that the selling, the attracting your impact and your financial abundance will come with so much ease and flow and speed. Okay, so normally, and tell me if this is you currently, where you are on your journey. Okay, oh no, I don't see my comments here. Okay, so we've got Franny, good morning. We've got Elna, good morning. I'm so glad you could make it live. Franny, seriously, 5 o'clock in the morning for you, like chapeau bas. Like, this is amazing. Yeah, I really appreciate you coming, guys, everybody showing live. This is beautiful. So typically when people come and work with me, they've learned a modality, they have some, specific gift they already know about, and they're offering one-to-one sessions. How many of you offer one-to-one sessions with your clients, and that's the only offering you have? Tell me in comments below. Let me refresh it so I can see comments. For a moment, I was receiving comments on this screen, but now I'm receiving comments on this screen. But it's good to know that. That's always good. So, how many of you offer one-to-one? Just sessions with clients, one-to-one, and people pay per session, right? So typically, this is what happens with like 99% of people who come to work with me. And the problem with that approach is that, Franny, me, okay, and one-on-one only. Okay, good. So I'm glad you're here, because that's the reason why you're struggling to attract clients. See, Lucy, one-to-one. See, like, this is so typical, right? So you're not doing nothing's wrong with that, but because everybody's doing it, right? But that's not the way forward if you want to create financial freedom, more reach, more impact, right? Like, remember, I teach people how to create global impact, how we can go bigger, how we can really help people all around the world, right? We want to create something new, revolutionary, and have massive, massive impact. That's what matters to me, and I know everybody can do this, okay? So the problem with one-to-one sessions is that what happens is that when you market yourself like everybody else who uses the same modality as you, you will start competing on price. That's the only way you can compete, right? Because you do the same thing, you offer one-on-one sessions, and what happens is that you end up reducing your prices, okay? Sometimes it gets even to the point where my clients offer a first session for free in hope that people will purchase more sessions, right? Because they will see how amazing the session it was, and then they purchase again. But the problem with that, and tell me if you've experienced that as well in your life, people, even when you offer something for free, people show up, and my clients are like freaking amazing, and they do create some quick results for people, but people are like, yeah, I loved it, it helped me so much, like, thank you very much, see you later, and they never come back, right? They forget about it, or because when it comes to one-to-one sessions, you never have a specific thing they're going to work on. And people, when people have a real problem, they're looking for a real solution, right? And when it comes to one-to-one sessions, typically it's like, yeah, we're going to follow your guidance. We're going to go with the flow. We're going to see what you need, right? And for people, for them to part money, to see, let's go with the flow. Yeah, I felt better, but I still have the same problem I had. It's not good enough for them to then book more and more and more sessions. It's not consistent. They might see you every other week, every other month, but it's not enough, right? It's not enough. And remember, you are unable just with one session to create life-changing transformation, no matter how amazing you are. And people, for some reason, expect miracles from first session. So if you help them emotionally in that session, they feel better, but you haven't resolved the issue, the main issue, they're just like, no, it didn't work, right? It didn't work. Because people expect miracles, right? That's our psychology, right? Like, I wanted a session, it didn't, like, I felt better, but it didn't really resolve everything for me, therefore it didn't work, right? And that's because they lack understanding, and that's why your role is to educate your clients so they really understand how your work truly works, right? I will never tell you that I can provide results for you in one session. We can heal something in one session for sure, but I'll never get you to financial freedom in one session. It's just impossible, right? It's impossible. And when I work with clients and, we connect to your purpose, you have something important, you have something big to create. It's a massive, life-changing transformation for your clients. Therefore, that will never happen in just one session. Does that make sense? Franny, because of only word of mouth, they trust the person who referred. I have already passed the part of hoping they will like. Yeah. Yes. So, and it's very difficult to scale that business. I know that, a lot of people who come to work with me, they just want to make enough money to survive. But I want us to go bigger. I want us to really step into our power and really understand that we are here. We are meant for more. We are here to create bigger impact. We're not here just to have enough money to survive and maybe have a nice lifestyle. We're here to create impact. So like every single person knows about you, right? So when you work one-to-one with people, one-to-one sessions, you can only have X amount of sessions per day without hitting exhaustion. A lot of my clients, even when they are, they're earning money and with one-to-one sessions, they are exhausted because they have like 5 sessions a day. Like it's impossible, right? Like you need to create a business that is truly in alignment with you, that aligns with your energy, that replenishes you, nourishes you, so you have a happy, fulfilled life. You don't feel like, oh my God, I need more clients because I need to pay the bills. That's not how I want you to operate, okay? And I have gifted yet. I've heard that people to add value to price, so it was free, then there's no value. Exactly. Another thing is when you offer things for free, sometimes it's actually harder to get people interested in a free session because they don't value it. It's true. They don't value it. Even you might have the most amazing, incredible session, but because it's free, that's why sometimes it's actually easier to put a price on it. That's why I'm going to show you how you need to do this properly in business so that people actually respond. I value people's time. I would never want a free session from someone that I truly believe will help me for free. Like, that's just not right. Morally, to me, it's not right. Right? Like, I value your time. I value your expertise. I value your gifts. And I remember I was following a coach once and I was like in love with her. And her offer, when she put an offer out, I was like, oh my God, I'm in it. I'm going to buy it. And then when I saw the price, I was disappointed. I was like, this is so cheap. And it put me off. I was like, I thought it was an amazing offer, but why is it so cheap? Is it like bad value? Or like, am I really getting what I want from it? Like, what's going on here? And then I spoke to her and I actually missed the early bird price because I was like, okay. And I actually joined her at like a normal price, but I felt more aligned with the higher price because the lower price just didn't feel right to me. I was like, she's amazing. Why is she charging so little? I want to like it didn't feel right to me. And so remember, one-to-one, if you love having just one-to-one, that's fine. It can be one part of your business model, but don't let it be your whole business model, okay? So, and remember, you can still work one-to-one with clients, but as part of the program. And this is the key. In order to truly, what I found is so successful is that once you know that you want to get people from A to B, you need to take them on a journey. You need to tell them, you know what, you'll work with me and I'll take you through the whole journey to get them to get you from A to B, right? It's called a program, okay? So programs are so much more effective because remember, your clients have a specific pain, specific problem. Typically what happens with people is they have a problem, they try to solve it themselves. They search online, they Google everything, they implement everything they're learning, and if they don't resolve the problem, the next step is that they realize they need to invest. They need to work with someone to help them with the problem, right? So now they know, okay, I have to invest, I have this amount of money. Now, who's going to help me, right? So they're looking for somebody that they see as an expert, right? And we talked about it yesterday, about having very clear message. This is the problem I'm solving for you. These are the results. And today we're going to be talking about how I'm going to get you. So the program you're offering should be taking people from A to B, okay? So it's the best way to sell anything to a person, because as a client, you want to know exactly, when I'm investing in you, I want to know exactly what you're going to do to me, how, why is your approach good, why is it different, why should I buy from you and not go with more traditional way of doing things? Like, you know, I need to feel aligned, I need to feel connected, I need to be emotionally connected to you as well. So having programs is the best way forward, because it helps your clients to create the life transformation that they need. You work with them for X amount of time, you give them the best support, the best care, the best service there is to help them get from A to B, and they should get results A to B. At the end of they should get results by the end of the program. Of course, we cannot guarantee results, because at the end of the day, we can only do so much, right? As healers, as coaches, as mentors, we're here to guide people and aid with their transformation, but we can't do it for them. God, if I could do it for my clients, I would, right? But we can't. Right? So a lot of responsibility for the results is down to your client, of course, right? But you can say to them, these are the steps that you need to get to the results, right? Like this is the path, right? And for them, they're like, okay, they know what they're talking about. This makes sense. I like this process. Now I understand the process. They've taught me about this process, right? You've educated them. And they're ready. And you know, my clients go from charging £100 per session, sometimes £50 per session, sometimes offering sessions for free, and they're struggling, to then offering a program. And my clients typically charge anything between £1,000 to £5,000 per program, depending on the clients, depending on the results, depending on the length of the program, of what's inside, like the package. Like it depends on the package, right? So that's how my clients are able to start making money quite quickly, and they get cash injection in the business so quickly, because if you sell a program that's, let's say, on average is £3,000 or dollars, you know, and you get 5 clients for that much, you know, boom, you know, ka-ching. And then what's next? What do you want to offer next, right? So I'll teach you about the business strategy tomorrow, but today I want to make sure that you know how to create your offering. Okay, does that make sense for now? I know this is a very different way of what you are used to, and but this is going to change. This is going to change how you see business, how you run business. It's going to feel so much better, because you will start seeing that people actually see, like that you're going to see them achieving results. Because when people invest, this is sad. I know this is sad. This is our, again, psychology. The more we invest, the more we are invested in the process, right? So if you had a 3-month program and you were charging £100, people will probably not show up, right? And you will feel so horrible, because you will be showing up, you will want to create this amazing impact for your clients, and people will be like, I can't be bothered, I'm going to miss it, maybe tomorrow I'll attend, right? Maybe not. But if you charge £3,000 and people invest, and it's like good value for them in terms of, you know what, like it's a bit of a stretch, but I know I can do this. Money motivates people, right? I spent that much, I'm going to get out of it. And I remember when I invested in my coach, the first coach in my first year, you know, I had to invest £5,000 in her. That was my last savings. For me, it was be or not to be. And in a way, it's good to be in that place, because I knew I had to make it work. There was no plan B. There was no other option. I wanted to make it work. I had to make it work, and money was actually motivating me. I was like, I'm going to double my investment, and that was the case. You know, in a 1 month's time, I made 10k, right? So I doubled. The return of investment was insane, and it's the same with my clients, right? They invest £3,000 to £5,000 in my programs, and they make 10 to 25k months afterwards, right? And it's the same. I want this the same for you, okay? I want you to know that the more people invest and they see value in your program, the more they will show up and they will do the work, and it will be easier for you to work with them. The worst clients you can have is people who want something, but they don't want to show up. They don't want to do the work. Those clients are the hardest, and you probably not, no matter how amazing you are at what you do, you will not create any results for them, right? Because we cannot force people. So, first of all, the first step is to understand your client, to really connect to the clients that you want to help, the people you're here to serve. So from yesterday, if you missed yesterday, you definitely need to watch it, because you need to first understand what your purpose is. So you need to understand what impact you want to create, what problem I'm solving for my clients, what results I want to create for my clients. It needs to be aligned with who you are, with the impact you're here to create, and with your purpose. But we've done that yesterday, so I'm assuming you have that, you have an idea for it. So the next thing is, once you know the problem and the results, and I keep repeating it, but that's so important in your business. The problem with marketing and people not attracting clients is because they do not have clarity on the problem they solve and the results. It always comes down to those two main factors, okay? So you need to truly understand your clients, right? So that's when we want to really deeply connect to your client. I want you to understand exactly what their problem is. What is the main problem that keeps them up at night? What is the problem that they think, oh my God, I need to invest because I can't live with it anymore. It's painful. I can't do it anymore. They're in desperation. They're like, just please somebody help me. What is that one thing, okay? And what are the other problems that this main problem is manifesting? So really, I want you to really go deep into your ideal client. Really think about their emotional health, their physical health, their thoughts, right? How is their lifestyle? How does that look like? Relationships, is this main problem affecting their relationships, their mental health, their physical health, their lifestyle, right? Like, I want you really to dig deep into what does your current reality look like for your client? How are they feeling? Okay? The more insight you have, not only you'll be able to connect to them more deeply on emotion and energetic level, but your content will be so on point, to the point where people will see your content and they'll be like, oh my God, she's reading my mind. Like, how is that possible? I want to follow her. I want to speak to her, because she is literally like channeling me, right? So I want you to really be clear about your ideal client's current reality versus what is their desired reality. So where do they want to be? What do they want to achieve, right? What are the results that they're looking for? You need to be very clear about that, because that's the reason why people will buy from you, for the results, right? Tell me about the results. People typically don't care how you get them. They don't care about the modality you use. They want to know, will you be able to get me there? Please help me. Please get rid of my pain, and are you able to get me the results, really, right? So it's very, very important for you to know that. Okay? So do you have any ideas? Do you want to share with us those two parts of your client? Do you have any idea who they are, what they're experiencing right now, what you're going to be helping them with, and what results you're going to be creating for them? The more you know about them, the easier it will be for you to find them, because then you have Facebook groups, for example, where you can literally find people, because Facebook groups are categorized, So I'll give you an example in my business, okay? So the main problem my clients have is they're not able to attract people into their business, right? They have this beautiful desire to help. They know they're meant for more, but they're not getting any income into their business, right? That's the main problem for my clients. The results that they want is they want to start seeing money coming in. They want to start working with people. They want to start creating impact so they can feel fulfilled, right? They also want to do it in an aligned way, okay? Something that feels good, something that's aligned to their purpose, right? So the current reality for my clients, I really dug deeper, right? And I'm not saying you are that person, right? Because you all have different, lifestyles. But the person that I truly want to help is people who who have tried lots of marketing, or they're really new to business and they have no idea where to go with it. There are people who have not yet connected to their purpose and they want to know what impact they want to create. There are people who know they're meant for more, who want to create massive impact. They want to create something that is unique, revolutionary, right? And so you need to be, the more specific you are, the easier it will be for you to identify them and find them in an online world. So based on my description of the client, I know that my clients, I work on Facebook. You don't have to work on Facebook if you don't align with it. Tomorrow we're gonna be talking about choosing a social media platform that is right for you. But for me, I love Facebook. Because I know how to find my clients on Facebook. I know that my clients will be in entrepreneurial groups, in like purpose related groups, in spiritual groups, right? So I know when I go into those groups and I create marketing material, I know my clients are there, right? So it's easier to then bring them into my own community, okay? So first of all, you really truly need to understand your clients. Really think about your own journey. Remember, your purpose is not always, but very, very, 99.9% of the time is related to your story. So go back to your own story, your own experience. And sometimes we forget how we used to feel when we were experiencing the problem and the pain that our clients are currently feeling, right? Because we are so many steps ahead of our clients now. But sometimes it's nice to remember and go back and think, oh my God, I remember it was horrible. I used to feel like this and like this and like this. And this is exactly how my clients are feeling. And that's why I want to help them. Another thing you can do is energetically connect with your clients. So when I attract clients, and how I help my clients attract clients is obviously through marketing. And I'm going to talk about business strategy tomorrow. But we also do energetically. We also attract clients energetically. So yesterday we did like a little meditations where I connected you to your clients, and you could ask them questions. You can do that again today, right? You can go into the meditative state, ask your soul to show you your clients. You can ask, I want to see all of them. I want to see just one person, and you can connect heart to heart, and you can ask them questions, and you can feel who they are, how they feeling, what they desire, right? But remember that what they desire is what you desire for them as well. It needs to be aligned. The impact you want to create needs to be aligned with the results your clients want to create as well, okay? And it also needs to align, the problem need to align with your problem that you want to solve, right? So it needs to align with your purpose. Otherwise, you will be operating from out of alignment, okay? Does that make sense? Let me know, guys, if you have any questions so far. I know this is a lot of information. I know this 4-day course is packed with information, and I'm bombarding you every single day. I know it's a lot to digest, but it's important, right? This is really, really important. So when you connect to people energetically, that's how you can start calling them in. The more you align with your clients energetically, the easier they will come to your life as well, okay? So once you know, the next step is, okay, Lucy, let me read this. With the autism courses, mothers who are overwhelmed with their child's language and communication development, giving them a visual creative writing course online that they and their support workers can follow. Art courses to give them the tools to play and work in a developmental way with their children. Amazing. Amazing. I love that, right? I love that. And we can build on that, okay? So once we know your clients, right? They hear their pain, their results. Then we want to create a journey for them, right? How can we take them from A to B, right? So take me through the process, right? Like, you've been through this process yourself. You've gone through this journey. So that's what I did. Like, I remembered, okay, I connected to my purpose. How did I do that? And that's and then I created a course for Connect to Your Purpose. Then my second program was, okay, connect to your purpose and turn it into a thriving business through business strategy. I remembered all the steps I've taken to create my first 10K months. I was teaching people that, and then I started building and building and building, right? So in my business, everything is step by step. You can't go to step 3 without completing step 1 or 2, right? It is very step by step. For you, it might not look like that. I've worked with so many different people now that, your program is so unique and specially designed to you, right? And when I work with clients, obviously we're doing it together, and we channel information and we use their guidance, and it's really, really beautiful what comes out of it, right? But you need to, sometimes people don't have step-by-step process, they have modules. and they go in and out between the modules. So for example, especially with the spiritual workers, I worked with people who were like healing people, and they had to heal like ancestral stuff, past lives, and blah 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 blah. And they were very flowy in and out, and they were using their own guidance to guide people. So even though you have, because some people think once I have a program, it's so structured, it's so rigid, oh my god, but I'm so flowing, I'm spiritual, and I'm using guidance. That's absolutely fine. Remember, programs are there for the marketing reasons. So people understand not only that you're an expert, you know what you're talking about, right? But also they understand the journey. They understand why they need your program, because you can educate them that they need all these steps. Otherwise they will be stuck forever, right? But what you do within that program afterwards is completely up to you. You do need to deliver, you do need to cover. If you say you're going to cover 5 different modules, you do need to cover 5 different modules, but how you're doing it's up to you. If you say to people, well, today we were going to do module 2, but actually I feel guided to do something else with you. Remember, people see you as an expert. People will follow your lead because you know the best way to help them. Does that make sense? And also one last point on the side is that if you think you have nothing to offer, you're definitely wrong, right? That's your mind speaking. This is one client that comes to my mind right now, and she was the typical client who said to me, Eva, I really have nothing to offer. I have no skills, I have no education, I have no qualifications, like absolutely there's nothing I can offer to people, right? She didn't finish school because she became a mom at a very young age, so obviously there was this whole conditioning. I will never amount to anything, I'm not smart, I'm not intelligent, I'm a loser, I'm a failure, all these things she had in her mind. So she was like, I'm not lying, like I have absolutely nothing to offer. And I said to her, that's fine that that's what you think, but you will see through this process that you have a lot to offer. And when we started understanding her clients, so she was the client, I shared with you her mission statement, the good one, on day 2, yesterday. And, so she was helping moms create financial freedom by, creating a business, right? And she was blown away that this what came through for her, because she had no idea she had that inside her. But when we started really connecting to the, uncovering her journey, how she's going to take people from A to B, she just bombarded me with information. I remember our coaching sessions, and she was just in flow. She's like, and this, and we can do this, and I'm going to do this, and I was just writing everything down. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I kept asking her more questions, so more things, more ideas started coming through. And we came up with a 6-month course for mothers, right? Not 6 weeks, 6 months. I was like, see, this is how much you had inside you. And she started crying, and she said, I can't believe it. I thought I had nothing to offer. You see? And this is the beauty of this work, because when you connect, everything just sort of goes, bleh. Here it is. This is for you. This is what you're meant to be sharing with the world. And it's beautiful. So I want you to really take the time to really figure out, what is the journey for my clients? Look back at your own experience. What steps did you have to go through to go from the problem that you've had, that now you're helping your clients to overcome, to achieving the results that you will be offering your clients, right? Go back and really remember it, okay? And do it step by step. And this is your approach, right? And this is your approach. This is something new, something different. Nobody can offer it the way you can. Why? Because you have created it, right? So now the next step is how you can identify your zone of genius. Because once you have your journey, this is your approach, how you're going to help people, but how can we make it even more unique, right? So now you know your journey. Now let's add skills, everything your zone of genius to it, to make it even more unique. Okay, so think about your skills for this. Don't think about any skills you've got. It needs to be related to this program you've just created, right? It needs to be related to your purpose. So what skills are you adding to this? Do you have any specific skills, right? What about any gifts and talents? Anything that makes you different, unique? People, people who'd always say, oh, like, this is magnificent. Like, you always had this gift. Oh, you've always had this talent, right? So it could be like with Lucy, right? Like creative, like being creative. You can add some creativity into it. It could be different talent, right? What about your personality? Your personality is the key. People will purchase from your personality. People will never purchase from you if they don't click with you, right? People need to be able to open up to you. People, need to feel comfortable. People need to trust you. People need to like you, like get on with you, What about knowledge and expertise? So you might remember, you have gone through this journey. What knowledge and expertise have you acquired that your clients have no idea about? Okay. Also, what do you love doing? Because a lot of the times, what we love doing, we're really good at, but we don't see as business or something we can monetize. Okay. So what are the things that you absolutely love doing, that you're so good at, and how can you put it into a program? Because we want to make it, this program will be life-changing, remember? So this is the best program they'll ever find anywhere else, and it's the best product in your business right now, okay? So how can you add more and more value to it? Do you have any qualifications? Have you completed any courses, right? Do you have any modalities? Do you have 1, 2, 3? How can you combine it all to create this amazing program? Remember, every modality that you learn has its limitations, but when you combine them all together, or when you know that these are the limitations of this modality, but I'm going to overcome them in this way, that's it. You've got it now. So when I was creating my programs, right, I started thinking about what I loved, what helped me. So I know, psychology of selling really helps, like how people think really helped. So I do have, even though it's not a lot of psychology that I teach in my programs, there is psychology. We do talk about conscious mindset, because that is a part of you as well that we need to work on, right? So coaching focuses on limiting beliefs, right? So I use psychology, I use coaching, I use mentoring. Mentoring is more about experience based, right? So I've achieved what you want to achieve, and I'm going to teach you from experience how to do it. There's teaching elements, right? Like what I'm doing now, this 4-day course is based on teaching. It's not based on any really healing or channeled messages for you guys now. It's like pure teaching, right? And teaching itself is not as effective as when you're doing the transformation with your clients, of course, right? I do healing, right? So deeply healing the blocks for my clients. I channel for them, I bring in wisdom from 5th dimension and abundance consciousness and Pleiadian. So, when I started putting all together, I started understanding like, oh my God, I'm not just a business coach, because I used to just call myself a business coach. My spiritual side, I will be 100% honest with you now. I always saw myself as spiritual because, of course, I connect, to my guidance, and I really follow my guidance more than anything. But when I was working with my clients who were like so much more spiritual than me, they had visions, they had, they were channels, they were healers, they were creating beautiful results for their clients. I was like, oh, I cannot call myself that spiritual. Obviously, I'm not that spiritual, right? And I remember my coach, she was like, stop saying that. And I was like, I know, but it's the reality. I'm spiritual, but not like there, like way up here, But so I was always like keeping myself like, I'm a business coach. Like I know how to create businesses for people, and I bring some sort of guidance and spiritual practices, but I'm not as spiritual, right? And then what happened? I was like, okay, second spiritual awakening, all these gifts started like popping up, being activated. And I was like, oh my God, like the wisdom that I channeled, the healing the healing modality I've channeled, like what comes through for my clients, and now I can say 100% that everything we do is channeled, is backed by business strategy, is done in the right way, and I didn't, like, when I started realizing that, I only started realizing that when I started doing this work that I'm sharing with you. What skills do I have? What can I put into my programs to make it life changing for my clients? It's not, don't try to ask yourself, what do I need to put to make money? Because that's the wrong motivation that gets you out of alignment. That's not energetically right. But ask yourself, how can I create life changing transformation for my clients? What have I got? I want to put my whole self into this program. And then you'll see that what you've created versus one-to-one sessions you're offering is like date and night. The value is, you cannot even compare. That's why it's hard to sell one-to-one sessions, because people know that. Even when I was working with my healer, I was getting, I wasn't getting very frustrated because she was helping me a lot. But sometimes the sessions was going like so off the course that I was like, this is not what I sort of signed up with you. Like, this is not helping me achieve what we signed up for. That's why it's easy to go off the course, but you need to stay. You need to help people get what they truly want. Why they signed up with you in the first place. So that's for you to really connect and really start putting on paper, and when you start doing that, you start understanding that your whatever you've created is so unique and different, because there's only one person like you on this earth, right? And then it's all about understanding, how do you communicate it? Now the next step is always marketing. How do I communicate it so people understand that this is so different? You need to then think as well about your clients. Where are they on their journey? Have they already tried different approaches to help them and it failed, right? Or are they so new to this, right? So you can think about, typically if my client has this problem, so let's say you want to heal people from physical illnesses, right? And typically, what does a normal typical person do? They go to a doctor, they're on drugs, they trying the conventional routes, right? And maybe they even tried healers and healing, and it didn't quite work. Why? So ask yourself, what did my client experience to solve this problem? Why didn't it work? And how is my approach different? How can I say to them, what? The reason why conventional things didn't work is because your physical health is actually connected to emotions. So once we heal the emotions, your physical problem will go away. Oh yeah, but I've tried that with one healer. Okay, but did they do X, Y, and Z? Did they have a holistic approach that I'm offering here? Or did they just focus on like one session or two sessions? Or, So once you know what typically people go through to resolve their problem, then you can say, okay, like, I actually disagree with it. This is what I believe in, right? You need to be confident, and you need to really back your approach, okay? So Lucy, I want to create an online course that teaches people to develop their intuition through color and portraiture, that connects to their guides and others, past lives and beyond, opening people to the divine pathway so that they can reveal and heal all this through cosmic connection with color and art. That is beautiful. So how does that relate to the autism? Is that related, or are there two separate businesses? Because you can have more than one business, right? I have people who have like a product-based business, like physical, like selling something like jewelry or crystals or something like that. And they also have a service-based business. And sometimes they overlap. Sometimes they like different, and that's absolutely fine. But this is just my... but even if you want to have multiple businesses, I would always encourage you to start from one first, get that established, and then move on to the next one. So go with your guidance and your alignment as to what do I feel more passionate about right now, right? Because when you're trying to do two businesses right now and you're new to it and you haven't established yourself as you don't know how to create money yet from a business, doing two businesses at the same time, it will be so exhausting, and your energy will be so split that energetically it will be hard for you as well. Yes, two separate businesses. Okay. But I also wonder, I don't want to confuse you or anything, because typically I don't give advice. Typically, like I channel people's guidance, and I get my clients to see their guidance, right? So I don't offer advice unless it's like unless they need it. But do you think this could be two separate businesses, right? But do you think the autism could also benefit from it? Because I think like that would be amazing if you could bring that into autism as well, helping them with connecting to intuition, because that might, like, the mothers and the child, yeah, maybe I don't know. So yeah, so another thing that you need to think about your program, your offer, your revolutionary method, is what's included in it, right? What can add value? So not only you bringing them knowledge, right? Like, these are the steps, this is what you need to do to get from A to B. But what else can I offer? So obviously sessions, right? Your Lucy, yes, okay, brilliant, that's cool. So Lucy, so this is just an idea. This is just an idea, but follow your own guidance. So you could do the autism one business, and you'll be bringing the intuitive one into it. And then once that's established, you can then spread the intuition one to broader, like, to a different audience, because you will have different audiences for different businesses, right? So they will be like separate, or all the way around, like, right? You can start with the intuitive one, get that off the ground, and then whilst you're doing the autism one, you can intertwine the intuitive one into that. So because there's an overlap, but you need to figure out what feels more aligned right now. Yeah, which one you feel more drawn to, not what will make more money, or rationally, just intuitively, what gives you more butterflies and passion, and and that's why you will know that straight away. So what's included? So sessions, obviously your biggest gift is your sessions, right? So really think about what's in your alignment in terms of, do you want to offer one-to-one sessions? So you can sell programs and still offer one-to-one sessions. Yeah, so you'll be working one-to-one inside the program. You can have group programs where you offer so how I work, I have group programs where you are divided into groups of 3, and I have one-to-one session with each person individually, but in a group setting. In that way, people learn a lot, and they connect, and they see that they're not going crazy, and that everybody's experiencing the same fears and worries, and it really helps people progress quicker together. So really think, right? Sessions. Definitely you need to add some sort of sessions, because that's the biggest value, right? To it. But what about like materials? A lot of people, the reason why one-to-one sessions are not as effective, because a lot of the time people do need some sort of knowledge education. And what I find with my clients, when they say, people book one-to-one session with me like 60 minutes, but we spend 15 minutes when I'm explaining things to them. And I'm like, see, it's not like you're wasting the time, because they need to know this, but that's the time that you should be spending with them, healing them or coaching them or whatever your modality is, right? So you can just take that out, put it in a material form. So when I work with my clients, there are teaching materials that they need to go through before our sessions to make sure they get the best outcome out of our sessions. So you could be doing the same, like, what do your clients need to know? So a lot of the time with healing, people need to educate people how healing works, that people need to be open, that it's not down to the healer, the results, that is down to you. Maybe aftercare, after healing, these are just some ideas. Meditations, journals, diet plans for, I've had people in wellness and fitness as well. Either collaborations. Remember, sometimes when you feel that you can provide the transformation that you haven't done yet yourself, but you get an expert to help you, so you can collaborate. So for example, that's what I was actually thinking about, because I have always had a feeling that deep healing was missing in my program. So I was actually in talks with a healer. So I was going to say to her, like, I do the business side of business with my clients and connecting them to their purpose and doing this work of zone of genius, because that's what I love. But you do the healing, because I don't know how to heal people, right? And before we actually finalized everything, I channeled my own modality, and because I think I think the guidance I got was that you're so scared to realize that you actually are a healer. So the minute I was like, okay, you know what, I'm ready to do it myself, that's when the healing modality came through to me, and I started doing it as well. So I actually ended up doing it myself. But if I didn't know how to do it, I wouldn't bullshit people and be like, hey, I'm a healer, I can heal you, when I can't do it. So I was actually thinking of bringing a healer into my programs back then, right? Think about any support in between sessions as well, because when we go through massive transformation, people might require in between session support, like a text or an email. But remember, whatever I'm sharing with you needs to align with your lifestyle. So now I'm going to give you different ideas of an offering to make sure that something that aligns with you, what you want to do right now, but also will give you your lifestyle. Because if you create a program that doesn't give you the lifestyle that you want, you will resent your business. No matter how much you want to help people, you'll start resenting your business, and that will create massive block in your business. Okay, so different ideas for an offering is you can create one-to-one, right? You're working one-to-one with clients, or you can be group program when you're working with like 20 people at once, or you can have small group like me, 3 people or 5 people, whatever feels right for you. Or it could be combination of both, right? You can have, so that's what I do. I blend both. So I do one-to-one sessions separate, individually, but in a group setting. Okay, so you can do mixed like that, online, or you can do fully online, where people purchase, they never see you, you never see them, there's no support, it's pure passive income. Or you can do memberships, or you can do online programs with a little bit of support, so they can actually message you whenever they need. So remember, these are some examples, and just to give you an idea of what you could be offering. Sorry, but you need to create it the way that feels right to you. You can mix it, you can blend it, you can change it, you can swap things, right? It has to give people the transformation, but also remember, we're creating business that is fun, that we love. So do it in a way that will bring you joy and fulfillment as well. So for me, the reason why I want to work with people one-to-one and in a group setting is because I know that that's the best way to get them to the success, because they're so new to business that, if I was working with people who are already at certain level of success, they probably online program would be sufficient. But for people that I'm working with, and that's who I really love working with, I want to see them starting from zero all the way to financial freedom, to stepping into their power, to creating the impact, right? I want to see them from going from here to there, right? Like, that's what gets me going. But that requires a lot of support, right? That requires one-to-one sessions, that requires healing, that requires me checking their work, me doing the work with them. Like, I'm very, very involved, and that's how I like to work, right? So that's my main program. It's very, very intensive, in terms of my support and my time, right? I also, last year, I had different structure of the business. I had this as well, but I also had online programs that were passive income and membership, right? Right now, I only offer on this main program where I help people a lot. But after that, I'll probably develop something else, right? And so that I'll be talking about a business model and how the business works tomorrow for you. But today I want you to start thinking about what will be like fun and what will be fulfilling for me. How do I like to work with my clients? Okay. And the other things you need to think about is how long will the program be? So people are like, well, I don't know, I've never done it before. That's absolutely fine. What you need to think about is, the steps, and think about, if one step is, for me, is like connecting you to your purpose, how long realistically it will take, right? So for me, it's like 1 week. We need 1 week to do that. If you're not sure about how long the program will be, you can say, this is what I estimate. I estimate every week we will do a module, or we will do a module every 1 month, or every 3 weeks, right? You calculate all these weeks together, and then you can say, I think this program will be 6 months, but I'll give you a extra month in case life happens, or in case you need more support. I don't want to just leave you there after 6 months if you haven't completed the work, right? So you can be flexible like that as well. Okay, so do you have any questions? Does it all make sense? So questions for your homework to help you with this is, I really want you to answer this, okay? Why am I the best to create this transformation for my clients? So you know the impact you want to create, you know the problem, the results. Why am I the best to create this impact for them? Okay? And another question is, why is my program revolutionary? Why is it different to anything else out there? Because that's huge. You need to know these answers to these questions, so then you can start communicating that to your clients through your marketing, through, people need to understand how amazing you are. So before they understand that, you need to understand that, okay? So what will help you with that is what I've mentioned earlier. Think about their journey, what they've tried already to help them achieve the results, and why they haven't succeeded yet, right? That's the difference. Your approach will take them to results, but why haven't they achieved that yet? What methods they've tried before that didn't give them the results, right? So if you explain to them why, and the answer is my approach, then they'll be like, yeah, that makes sense, right? So guys, do you have any questions? If you have questions, let me know in the comments below. Tomorrow we're going to have a very, very special day. So tomorrow I'm going to be sharing with you the business strategy, which is all about really step by step what you need to do, what are the tasks that you need to complete in your business to be actually attracting clients. So day 1 to day 3, so the days 1, 2, 3, and obviously 3 is today, was all about energetically getting into alignment. It was all about setting strong foundations for your business so you actually have an offer. But tomorrow is all about, okay, I've got something to sell now. How do I actually go out there and sell it to people? What steps do I need to take to actually involve people and have clients? And what do I need to do to have consistent clients as well? So I'll share with you a proven strategy that works every single time, so you can use it on repeat. But also, most importantly, I'll be sharing with you how you can align that strategy to you to make sure that you create your own business strategy that is aligned to you, because the key to your success is obviously having a business strategy that aligns with you, okay? So that's crucial. So you'll actually be creating your own strategy, which is really, really exciting. So definitely do not miss tomorrow. Tomorrow is really, really special. I'll be also sharing the prize for the highest participant. So I'll be announcing the highest participant as well, which is, so that person will be winning a one-to-one call with me. It's a strategy call, it's advice, it's channeling, all the guidance that I can get for 1 hour, and telling you step by step what you need to do to be getting your business off the ground. That's worth £350. So it's like a big value. I'll be also announcing a few things. I'll be sharing more gifts with you tomorrow by the end of the day. So not by the end of the day, by the end of the session. So yeah, join. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you need replays for any days, 1, 2, 3, let me know. It's good for you to catch up before tomorrow. But the replays will be available for a while, so don't rush. I'm not going to be taking them down just yet. Elna, no questions right now. Thank you. Have some soul searching to do. Yes. It's a beautiful journey in a way, and I'm so happy you said that, because a lot of people bypass that and they go straight into marketing. They just want to attract clients. They just want to make money, and it's so hard for them because they're not doing it in the right way. So I always say to people, take your time. Don't rush. This is a beautiful process. I know finances might be like, hello, I need to make money. But the less you connect with your mind and those fears, the quicker you'll be able to connect, the quicker you'll be able to create business, and the quicker you'll be able to make money, okay? Because the money is always a byproduct of your alignment with your purpose, connecting to who you are and expressing your zone of genius and your energetic alignment and healing, right? So that's always, but money always responds to that. Never greed, need, desperation, okay? Franny, thank you. So fantastic what you shared. Amazing. Thank you so much. Because sometimes when I'm sharing things, I'm like, oh my God, will people understand it? Sometimes I'm like, am I sharing too much? Is it too much all in one go? but I'm glad that it's been helpful. Lucy, exciting. Oh, I'm excited for tomorrow too. Bring it on. Okay, guys, thank you so much for showing up. See you all tomorrow. Take care for now. Bye.